wins. Michelle Chang wins. Jack wins. King wins. Yoshimitsu wins. King wins. Kazuya Mishima wins. King wins. Kazuya Mishima wins. Hey Hachi Mishima wins. Kazuya Mishima wins. Kazuya Mishima wins. Kazuya Mishima wins. Phoenix wins. Jack 2 wins. King wins. Martial Law wins. Jun Kazama wins. Lei Oolong wins. Yoshimitsu wins. Michelle Chang wins. Nina Williams wins. Kazuya Mishima wins. Paul Phoenix wins. Heihachi Mishima wins. Paul Phoenix wins. Heihachi Mishima. Paul Phoenix wins. You win. Final round. Fight! Mishima wins. Final round. Fight! Heihachi Mishima wins.
Final round. Fight. Paul Phoenix wins. Final round. Fight. Jin Kazama wins. Final round. Fight. Paul Phoenix wins. Final round. Fight. Jin Kazama wins. Final round. Fight. Paul Phoenix wins. Final round. Fight. Jin Kazama wins. Final round. Fight. Paul Phoenix wins. Final round. Fight. Jin Kazama wins. Final round. You win. What? Final round. Jin Kazama wins. Final round. Paul Phoenix wins. Final round. Fight. Jin Kazama wins. Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight. You win. What? Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight. You win. Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight! You win.
Michelle? Mother!
You have conquered Ogre. Now the key to control Ogre is this pendant. It was all Heihachi's evil plot.
I'll never let Heihachi get away with this.
No, Julia, wait. Julia, hatred is not the answer. Do you remember why I taught you the powers to fight? It was to protect Mother Earth, not to destroy. Now let's go home, back to Arizona, where the land awaits us.
様から全てを取り戻す。死にぞこんな意味。
2 years ago, Heihachi failed to capture Ogre, but his researchers succeeded in collecting samples of its blood and tissue. These in turn were used in an attempt to create a new life form by combining Heihachi's and Ogre's genetic material. The experiment failed, however, and Heihachi learned that he lacked the devil gene necessary to integrate Ogre's genome with his own. In order to obtain the devil gene, Heihachi searched for Jin, who had transformed into a devil during the last tournament. During his search, Heihachi learned that the body of his son Kazuya, whom he killed 20 years ago, was stored at a cutting-edge biotech firm called G Corporation. Heihachi ordered his Tekken force to raid G Corporation in an attempt to obtain Kazuya's remains. However, the mission ended in failure when Kazuya, revived by G Corporation, retaliated. In order to create a new life form, Heihachi needed the body of Kazuya or Jin, both of whom carried the devil gene. After much deliberation, an evil smile spread across Heihachi's lips. The next day, the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4 was announced. 20 years ago, Kazuya lost to Heihachi and was thrown into the mouth of a volcano. A few days later, he was brought back to life by G Corporation, a biotech firm making revolutionary advances in the field of biogenetics research. With G Corporation's aid, Kazuya investigated the biomechanics of the devil gene within him by subjecting himself to various experiments. Kazuya believed that once he unlocked and controlled the power of the devil gene, he would be powerful enough to defeat Heihachi and destroy the Mishima Zaibatsu. 20 years later, the Tekken forces attacked G Corporation's facility and stole their research data. Kazuya was also targeted in the attack. Kazuya was infuriated by Heihachi's interference once again. He was determined more than ever to exact his vengeance. Kazuya was not fooled by the sudden announcement of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. He knew that it was a trap orchestrated by Heihachi to lure him out. Despite this knowledge, Kazuya enters the tournament. This is his chance to defeat Heihachi. Brisbane, Australia, a city crowded with buildings, new and old. Nestled amongst the towering buildings was a small dojo. A young man trained there in silence, his face hidden by the hood of his jacket. Day after day, Jin trained in the traditional art of karate. Ever since his betrayal by Heihachi, Jin loathed anything related to the Mishimas, his lineage, his fighting style, the devil gene in his blood, everything. Thanks to the dojo master's training, Jin unlearned the Mishima-ryu fighting style and mastered the art of traditional karate. Jin burned with desire to destroy the evil Mishima bloodline, his grandfather, Heihachi Mishima, and his father, Kazuya. Upon hearing rumors of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4, Jin hardened his resolve to enter the tournament. "20 years ago, Lee was expelled from the Mishima Zaibatsu when he betrayed Heihachi and sided with Kazuya at the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2. Thoughts of revenge consumed Lee for a long time, but eventually he realized that it was pointless to kill an old man who probably only had a few years left in his life at best. With that epiphany, Lee distanced himself from fighting and moved to a mansion in the Bahamas to lead a solitary life. One day, he discovered a huge sell-off of G Corporation's stock. Lee's intuition told him that something happened within the company. His intuition was correct. The Mishima Zaibatsu attacked G Corporation and caused significant damage to their research facilities. He also learned that the Mishima Zaibatsu was searching for a critical component needed to complete one of their projects. Oddly enough, an announcement was made for the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4 around the same time. Lee's fading passion for fighting was rekindled, along with his resentment towards the Mishima clan. Lee decides to enter the tournament under disguise in order to prevent the Mishima Zaibatsu from discovering his true identity. Xiaoyu was a junior at Mishima High School, but lacking any particular goals, Xiaoyu grew tired of her daily routine. One day, she received an anonymous email warning her of Heihachi's evil intentions and the dangers she faced. Though Xiaoyu replied to the email in hopes of an answer, she didn't receive any further messages. Xiaoyu's intuition told her that Jin, who had been missing since the last tournament, could be the sender. She believed in the message and began to distrust Heihachi and the Mishima Zaibatsu. Upon hearing the announcement of the next tournament, Xiaoyu decided to enter in hopes of being reunited with Jin and to unveil the truth behind Heihachi and the Mishima Zaibatsu. Back in his homeland of Korea, Orang was drafted into the military and assigned to a Spec Ops unit. Although his success in various missions was highly regarded, his penchant for disobeying rules and orders gave his senior officers more than a few headaches. Orang felt a strange emptiness within him. He recalled longingly of the days hustling money in street fights, the rush of hand-to-hand combat, and his fight against Jin Kazama. The military could not quell these yearnings. One day, the announcement of the next tournament reached Orang's ears. For the first time in years, his blood began to stir. He would defeat Jin, Heihachi Mishima, and anyone else who dared to stand in his way of claiming Mishima Zaibatsu as his own. Bursting with anticipation, Orang slipped out from the military base and headed for the tournament. Steve was a young British boxer enjoying his run as the middleweight champion of the world. Adopted during infancy, Steve sought the identity of his biological parents, as well as the origin of the scar on his arm. One day, Steve was ordered by a mafia group to throw a high-stakes fight, but he refused and instead won the fight. Unfortunately, the mafia made good on their threats and put a price on Steve's head. With the mafia in hot pursuit, Steve fled England for the United States and led a life on the run. But Steve soon realized that no matter what he did, the mafia would eventually catch and kill him. He would never learn the truth of his past. Motivated by this realization, Steve sought the limelight once again and entered After the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2, the Mishima Zaibatsu used Nina as a test subject for experimental cryogenics research. 15 years later, Nina was released from cryosleep to fight in the third tournament. She fought in the tournament while suffering from cryosleep-induced amnesia. Since then, Nina escaped from the reaches of the Mishima Zaibatsu and spent her days carrying out missions as a contract assassin. To this day, she has been unable to regain memories of Anna or her previous life. Without memories or anyone to rely on, the only thing she could do was to execute her contracts for money. One day, Nina accepted a contract from a mafia organization. The target of the contract was Steve Fox, a world boxing champion. Nina infiltrated the tournament and set her sights on her new target. Lei's life was consumed by police work as usual. Unfortunately for Lei, his live-in girlfriend got fed up with his workaholic lifestyle and dumped him in favor of Lei's assistant. Lei was devastated. Around the same time, Lei botched an operation to bring a crime syndicate to justice. The failure cost the police force 2 years' worth of intense undercover investigation work. Lei's rivals in the force secretly reported to his superiors that he botched the operation by allowing personal affairs to affect his job performance. As a result, Lei wound up with a 1-month suspension. During his suspension, Lei learned from an informant that an assassin was hired by the syndicate to murder a certain boxer participating in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. Lei enters the tournament in hopes of redeeming his honor. Paul went undefeated through the entire King of Iron Fist Tournament 3, and even triumphed over Ogre. Swelling with pride, Paul returned home. However, unknown to Paul, Ogre morphed into his second form, True Ogre, and the tournament continued after his departure. Although Paul claimed that he was the true champion of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3, few believed him. And even those who did eventually grew tired of his attitude. Eventually, his dojo went out of business from the lack of students. One day, Paul spotted a newspaper flyer announcing the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. Burning with desire to win this tournament, Paul decided to put his reputation on the line and prove once and for all that he was the one true champion. He proclaimed, "This time, I'll be the undisputed champion." After losing to Paul Phoenix in the last tournament, Kuma realized that he had lost touch with his wild instincts. He realized that as long as he remained Heihachi's pet, he would be unable to use his instincts to his advantage. Thus, Kuma trained alone in the mountains of Hokkaido, determined to regain his powers. Life in the wilderness was more brutal than any training Kuma had endured under Heihachi. Despite this, Kuma continued his harsh regimen. He burned with a desire to defeat Paul. His efforts eventually paid off. His skills improved dramatically, and he even developed new attacks of his own. But the one thing Kuma could not give up was his addiction to television. Every so often he went down to the village and watched TV looking through the window of one particular house, he saw a television commercial announcing the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. Kuma's instincts burned for battle as he headed towards the tournament site. Paul would be at the tournament, and Kuma was determined to defeat him. Martial Law was a successful businessman. He managed a newly established dojo and owned a successful nationwide Chinese fast food chain called Martial China. Unfortunately, he lost a franchise war against a competing restaurant chain and had to declare bankruptcy a year later. Unable to cope with failure, Marshall fell into depression and spent his days at home on his couch in a drunken haze. Then one day, a notice for the tournament arrived at his doorstep. Marshall's eyes flashed with renewed vigor. After a month of intense training, he beat himself back into top physical form. This is it, he said to himself. It's all or nothing. The fire within him raged hotter than ever before. Eddie Gordo learned capoeira from a master during his imprisonment. This master had a granddaughter named Christy. While in prison, Eddie swore an oath to him that he would pass on the art of capoeira to Christy. Shortly after returning from the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3, Eddie took Christy under his wing and taught her the art of capoeira, just as he promised. She became an impressive fighter after 2 years of training. But Eddie left abruptly soon thereafter. Those responsible for my father's death must pay. His words were all that was left behind for Christy. Troubled by his sudden and mysterious disappearance, Christy pursued Eddie. Her only lead, the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. Realizing that her native homeland would soon be in danger of the encroaching desert, Julia began her research on ecosystem restoration in hopes of saving it. The research group she joined was funded exclusively by G Corporation. In fact, all research was conducted at G Corporation's maximum security labs, and all data was stored there as well. However, one day the project was placed on indefinite hold. The Mishima Zaibatsu had attacked G Corporation's maximum security labs and stolen all the research data. Julia neither knew nor cared about the Mishima Zaibatsu, but in order to prevent her home from becoming a desert in a few years' time, she had to retrieve the research data. Julia searched the net for information on the Mishima Zaibatsu. Her eyes lit up when she saw a webpage announcing the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. Undefeated for 4 years in the professional circuit, Craig Marduk was once a respected and feared Vale Tudo fighter. However, Craig was expelled from the professional ranks after being linked to a minor scandal. Bitter against his peers and society, Craig's wrath consumed his soul. One day, Craig started a bar brawl in Arizona and killed an opponent during the fight. Convicted of second-degree manslaughter, Craig was sentenced to 10 years in the state penitentiary. 2 years later, Craig was mysteriously released from prison. Some anonymous benefactor had apparently paid off numerous judiciaries to arrange for Craig's release. An envelope was was delivered to Craig shortly thereafter. It contained a plane ticket and a newspaper article about the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. Armor King was murdered. King swore upon Armor King's grave that he would seek revenge against the man responsible for his mentor's death. The murderer was serving time in an Arizona state penitentiary. With the money he earned from professional wrestling tournaments, King arranged for the murderer's release. King then sent him a plane ticket and an article about the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. With his plans in motion, King headed for the tournament to await his sworn enemy, the Vale Tudo fighter. Brian realized that the end of his life was near. There was only one person who could change this, Dr. Abel, his creator. But Abel abandoned him 2 years ago when the Mishima Zaibatsu recruited him as its top scientific advisor. Brian despised the both of them, Mishima Zaibatsu for taking Abel away from him, and Abel himself for abandoning him. One day, news of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4 reached Brian, and he decided to enter the tournament. Despite his impending death, Brian's body flowed with energy, making him more powerful than before. Along with this new strength, Brian developed an uncontrollable rage that manifested itself in his outward physical appearance. Brian stakes everything on one hope, that if he defeats Heihachi Mishima, he would become the head of the Mishima Zaibatsu. If all goes according to plan, Brian would command Abel to modify his body, thus becoming the most powerful being in existence once again. As the leader of the Manji party, Yoshimitsu dedicated himself to providing food, medical assistance, and shelter to the ever-increasing number of political refugees around the world. Unfortunately, with a constant lack of necessary funding and manpower, Yoshimitsu was unsure about the future of his organization. When Yoshimitsu heard about the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4, he envisioned a union between the Manji party and the Mishima Zaibatsu. With this dream in his mind, Yoshimitsu decided to enter the tournament immediately. He must defeat Heihachi Mishima at any cost.
Go easy on me.
Round 1. Fight. Jin Kazuma. Win.
Come on!
Round 1. Fight. Paul Phoenix. Win.
Freeze! Freeze! Look out!
Thanks.
I'll break your face!
Round 1. Fight. King win. Round 1. Fight. Kuma win.
邪魔するな。
Round 1. Fight. Jin Kazuma win. Round 1. Fight. Kazuya Mishima win. Round 1. Fight. Jin Kazuma win. Round 1. Fight. Kazuya Mishima win. Round 1. Fight. Ryan Fury win.
Ah, you're finally awake. Have you any idea who saved you? He did. I'm certain you're wondering why. It's because we need your cooperation. By mechanizing you, I will extend your lifespan. In return, I will keep your original body. You see, the key to defeating Abel's bioweapon is contained within your body. Understand? Well, shall we get started then? This will be the start of a new future for you, as well as us. When you wake, it will feel as though only a moment has passed, but in reality, a year will have gone by. You will be completely reborn in a new body, all right? Well then, Sweet dreams.
Round 1. Fight. Kazuya Mishima win.
Koi.
Round 1. Fight. Jin Kazuma win. Round 1. Fight. You win. Round 2. Fight. You win.
さあ、案内しろ。
我は貴様らがデビルと呼ぶ存在。20年前貴様に殺されかけた時に分離した我が半身をこやつから取り戻す。今こそ我が復活の時。おかげで手間一つ省けた。褒美に我が力を味わわせてやろう。どうした？貴様らの科学で我を研究し尽くしたのではないのか。なぜ変わらぬ？ 風間とやらの力。和明様、なぜ。まさか。なるほど。力の統合にこんな手もあったとはな。貴様の出番もここまでだ。俺の中で溶けてゆくがいい。あとは貴様を殺せば全て俺のものだ。目覚めろ、風間陣。いかん。憎め、呪え。いかん。憎め、呪え。いかん。憎め、憎め、呪え。憎め。目覚めろ、風間陣。
お前さえいなければ、お前を倒して全てを終わらせる。
Round 1. Fight.
どれ入れ
You win. Round 2. Fight. You win.
所詮この程度の男か。不甲斐ない。その力、わしが全てもらう。お前はここで死ね。
Round 1. Fight. You win. Round 2. Fight. You win.
風間淳に感謝しろ。
I'm here now. I'm doing the best I can. Where are you now? It's your dreams come true. Here we go. What does the word mean? Should only be a smile on your face. Answer me, let us see God. The sun rises again. When will that time return? Swear you won't give up. Break out, break out. Anything stops. Let me know, never sin. Break out, make my story get down. They call history my heartbeat. Beat faster, shout, 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 shout. Destiny, I don't care which one's walking this way. What if I go back to zero? Energy, all men, one man at the time of one decision. Story, illusion, fiction, one shit, only your days, darkness, darkness, light is beyond the lights. Now open your ways, you can do it. To the top of the world.
Jin Kazama, a child of destiny. After fighting Kazuya and Heihachi, an evil spirit welled up within Jin. Awakened by an unknown voice, Jin looked around at a forest completely destroyed, and he knew he was the one who did it. Returning to Yakushima, Jin was plagued by nightmares, triggering the devil gene. If this keeps eating away at me, I don't know how long I can hold on, says Jin. Jin sets out on a journey to end this evil, with destiny as his only guide. Wang Jinrei, a relentless merchant. Jinpachi, his childhood friend, once told Wang, "To preserve peace, I must put an end to the Mishima bloodline." These were Jinpachi's last words to him. Years after Wang heard of Jinpachi's death, he received an invitation to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. "I need your help. Come see me, Jinrei." The letter was signed Jinpachi Mishima. A confused Jinrei says, "What? Jinpachi is alive?" Wang enters the tournament to see if his long-lost friend still lives. Huaran, Jin Kazama's rival. Near the end of the previous tournament, the Korean military arrested Huaran. At the Korean embassy, a man claiming to be the ambassador passed him a letter. "I've received this letter for you from the military. Take a look." Huaran couldn't believe his eyes. "Get me out of here now," says Huaran. Next day, Huaran flew to Korea to complete his training. Now done with his military service, Huaran is ready to finish Jin Kazama. Pek To-san, a master of Taekwondo. On his way home from training, Pek was attacked and knocked unconscious. He woke up in a military hospital. According to the defense minister, he had been in a coma for over a year. The minister asked Pek to help train soldiers, and he hesitantly accepted. A year later, Pek writes to Huaran, asking him to return to the military. Huaran goes with his mentor. Now, the two enter the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 as master and pupil. Codename Raven, a ruthless member of an international spy agency. Little is known about him other than the X on his face. On a mission to look into the Mishima Zaibatsu and G Corporation, he witnessed Heihachi Mishima swarmed by jacks. Later, he hears that someone would hold the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Raven infiltrates the tournament to find out more. A frozen land buried in dense subarctic forests. While undergoing geological research in preparation for the development of natural resources, an anomalous object is discovered below the permafrost. The military quickly calls special forces into action, and the entire area is completely sealed off. The mysterious object is then transferred under absolute secrecy to a research facility for further study. A month later, military headquarters receive an investigative report regarding the mysterious object and decides to order one of the men working at the dig on a clandestine mission. That man is Dragunov, a member of an elite special forces team who is feared in battlefronts throughout the world as the White Angel of Death. He acknowledges the mission with a silent nod and leaves for Japan. Lee Chaolon, Heihachi's adopted son and Kazuya's rival. Lee faced Kazuya in the previous tournament. Surprised by Kazuya's existence, Lee lost his focus and the fight. With Heihachi's death, Lee planned to take the Zaibatsu, but he was too late. Lee mutters, "Kazuya's always getting in the way." One month later, the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 is announced. Lee says, "Kazuya, this time I'll finish you. The Mishima Zaibatsu is mine." Nina Williams, an assassin with no memory of her past. The syndicate told Nina that Steve Fox was her own son, but Nina felt nothing. Later, the syndicate fell and left Nina with no purpose. She decided to meet her sister Anna to try to recover her past. But the moment she saw Anna, everything came rushing back. Now it's on. They fought for days. In the end, the sisters agreed to settle their rivalry in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Anna Williams, a woman who always fought with her sister Nina. Nina vanished a few years ago, and Anna felt something was missing in her life. Then she got a call from Nina. Anna met Nina a few days later, and the moment Nina saw her sister, shots were fired. The ensuing fight lasted for days. In the end, they agreed to settle things in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Anna screams, "That bitch! This time she's dead." Steve Fox, a boxing prodigy striving to be the world champion. Steve entered the previous tournament to look into the mystery of his birth. Lei Wulong helped Steve discover that he was actually a creation of the Mishima Zaibatsu. Steve vowed revenge. Just then, Steve learned of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. The world champion enters without a second thought. A determined Steve says, "The Mishima Zaibatsu will never make another monster like me." Lei Wulong, a Hong Kong police detective. Lei became famous after breaking up the syndicate in the previous tournament. Once home, Lei begins looking into who is destroying dojos throughout China. Many of Lei's close friends have been attacked, so he had to do something. He devoted himself to finding the person responsible, but the suspect disappeared. Lei hears of similar crimes in Japan. The next likely target, the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Now's his chance. Asuka Kazama. She was taught Kazama-style martial arts by her father. She was known as a nosy kid who liked to fix other people's problems, usually by knockout. Asuka came home one day to find that an unknown man had destroyed the dojo and put her father in the hospital. A detective from Hong Kong tells her the man will be in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. This one's personal. Feng Wei, a Chinese Kempo master, as a disciple of the God Fist style. By 20, he was the top student in his dojo. When his master scolded him for fighting outside the school, Feng killed him. To retrieve the secrets of God Fist scrolls stolen by the Mishimas, he joins the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Lily, the only daughter of a wealthy oil magnate in Monaco. 4 years ago, she was captured and held ransom for that very reason. While in captivity, she struggled violently to free herself, taking out one of her captors. That fight triggered her hunger for battle. However, Lily's father was a good-hearted man who hated conflict. I don't want father to be upset with me, but I also want to fight. Lily could no longer control her urge to fight. Under the guise of a simple vacation, she used the family's private jet to take part in street fighting tournaments around the world. One day, she receives an invitation to a certain fighting tournament from an opponent she defeated in San Francisco. Lily soon realizes that the host of this tournament was none other than the Mishima Zaibatsu, the main source of her father's problems. She decides to enter the tournament and put an end to her father's business troubles. Brian Fury, a cyborg made by Dr. Abel. Brian entrusted Dr. Boskanovich with giving him a perfect body. However, Brian's body was too complex. He installed a perpetual generator instead. Brian yells, "Endless power? This is perfect!" Brian attacked the doctor and Manji clan members and left the lab in ruins. Brian learns of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. He feels it's time for a real test of his new abilities. Yoshimitsu, a ninja helping the poor. While breaking into the Mishima Zaibatsu's vault, he found an injured Brian Fury and helped him escape. A month later, when Yoshimitsu visited Dr. Boskanovich's lab, he found his comrades dead. This was Brian's thanks. He'll pay for what he's done, says Yoshimitsu. Learning Brian will fight in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, Yoshimitsu sharpens his sword and enters the fray. Craig Marduk, the once undefeated Vale Tudo fighter. Unable to accept his loss to King in the previous tournament, Marduk transformed himself into the ultimate weapon. One day, Marduk, in a black jaguar mask, beat everyone in the Vale Tudo tournament to a bloody pulp. King, you're next. The stage is set for a rematch at the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. King, a wrestler with the spirit of two champions. After beating Craig Marduk, he followed Marduk to the hospital to kill him. Then he realized revenge was not the answer. Later, King heard Marduk challenged him to a rematch wearing the Black Jaguar's mask. I won't let him disgrace my master, says King. They will settle their score in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. The mysterious masked wrestler, Armor King. Just who is behind the steel armor and Black Jaguar mask? And what do they seek? The answer is veiled in mystery. Kuma, Heihachi Mishima's ever-loyal pet. Kuma finally defeated Paul in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. However, Heihachi was dead. Kuma was lost without Heihachi. Then he learned that the Mishima Zaibatsu was in chaos. He knew what he had to do. I'll save the Zaibatsu. By the time Kuma reached headquarters, someone had already taken control. Kuma was forced back to the mountains. For Heihachi and the Zaibatsu, he enters the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Paul Phoenix, the self-proclaimed toughest fighter in the universe. Paul entered the previous tournament to go head-to-head with Kazuya Mishima, someone he hadn't fought in 20 years. But he had to get through someone first. Not Kuma again. Kuma was tough. Paul got careless for one instant, and Kuma floored him. It's time to start all over again, says Paul. 2 months later, Paul is ready for the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. I am the toughest fighter in the universe, screams Paul. Martial Law, the fighting chef. After his restaurant failed, Law tried to revive his career in the previous tournament. He failed at that, too. Law, now penniless, stayed in Japan to work as a dishwasher. A month later, his wife called him. Their runaway son was in an accident, riding around on Paul Phoenix's bike. Faced with his son's mountain of medical bills, Law prepares to enter the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Julia Chang, a researcher trying to save the world's forests. She failed to retrieve her lost data in the previous tournament. As hard as she tried to continue her research, she still needed her old data. Then, Julia received a mysterious letter with an invitation to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Julia joins the fight with her dreams on the line. Ganryu, the youngest sumo wrestler ever. Once Ganryu retired, he opened his own sumo stable to forget about his love, Michelle Chang. One day, while Ganryu was watching the previous tournament, he saw a girl just like his old love, Julia Chang. Julia was trying to reclaim her research on forests from the Mishima Zaibatsu. Then Ganryu learned of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Ganryu, filled with hope, says, "What a coincidence! Someone must like me up there. If I get the research files, I'll win the lovely Julia's heart." Ganryu, now 55, enters the tournament. Jack 5, a beloved weapon. Gunjack protected the physicist Jane when Tekken fighters attacked her inside Mishima Zaibatsu Heavy Industries. The next day, Jane was saved by a G Corporation freighter. She became an engineer for G Corporation, developing Jack 4 and its successor, Jack 5. They decided to use the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 for field testing. Christy Montero, the granddaughter of a legendary capoeira master. Her grandfather was finally released from prison, but he had become very weak. This was not the grandfather she knew. She rushed him to a hospital. She was told that he was terminally ill, but a cure might be possible with technology from the Mishima Zaibatsu. A week later, Christy enters the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 to find a cure for her grandfather. Eddie Gordo, a legendary capoeira prodigy. Eddie's master was set to be free after a long prison sentence. However, his master had become a frail old man. This was not the master he once knew. Eddie had his master hospitalized. He was told that his master was terminally ill, but a cure might be possible with technology from the Mishima Zaibatsu. A week later, Eddie enters the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 to find a cure for his master. Ling Xiaoyu, out to save the Mishima Zaibatsu. She learned the Zaibatsu's troubled history after Yoshimitsu rescued her. Xiaoyu felt it all began when Heihachi threw Kazuya into a ravine. She cried when she heard of Heihachi's death. "If only I could turn back time," says Xiaoyu. Around then, a scientist told her he could create a time machine for a price. She opens her invitation to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. With the prize money, she could make everything right. Panda, Ling Xiaoyu's pet bodyguard. Xiaoyu was very depressed after the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. Panda thought long and hard about how she could make her happy again. Panda figured that if she could find Jin Kazama, Xiaoyu would be happy again. She searched high and low for Jin, but to no avail. One day, Xiaoyu came to her excited. "I'm entering the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Will you help me again?" Panda doesn't have a clue why, but she would do anything for Xiaoyu. Mokujin, cut from a 2,000-year-old oak. Mokujin sprang to life 2 years ago when Jin fought Ogre. With Jin's win, Mokujin ceased to move, but he had a smile on his wooden face. Now, a powerful entity forces Mokujin to take action once again. Will Mokujin ever be free?
Get ready for the next battle.
What the? You again? I'm gonna prove I'm the toughest in the universe. I don't give a crap about anything else. Shut your bear trap! I'm gonna be the toughest in the universe. Yeah, baby, yeah! I finally mopped the floor with your bear hide! No one can stop me from becoming the toughest in the universe!
Get ready for the next battle.
Go easy on me.
Final round. Fight, Wang Jinrei. Win. Get ready for the next battle.
もうそうか。森林再生プログラムをいただくにはジュリアちゃんを倒さねばならん。いや、むしろここでわしが負けてジュリアちゃんが優勝すればそれもまたよし。いやいや、ジュリアちゃんが優勝できるとは限らんし。ああ、もうわしはどうすればいいでごわすか。
Sir, could you stop babbling so we can get this over with?
ジュリアちゃんの頼みとなればお安いご用でごわす。
Okay.
ジュリアちゃん、すまんでごわす。やはりわしでは力及ばず。ああ、なしてなして。
I've gotta go.
Get ready for the next battle.
邪魔するな。
Final round. Fight. Jin Kazama. Win. Get ready for the next battle.
This time I will kill you.
You don't learn, do you? Well, come on then.
Do as you wish.
Anna, you're pathetic. That didn't satisfy me at all. I refuse to kill you.
You bitch!
Oh, that look is priceless.
Get ready for the next battle.
이 녀석 또 멋대로 행동을 하는구나.
사범님, 저에겐 꼭 꺾어야 할 상대가 있습니다.
아니, 그 전에 나를 먼저 꺾어야 한다. 덤벼라.
사범님, 죄송합니다. 돌아오면 정말 열심히 수행하겠습니다.
Get ready for the next battle.
邪魔するな.
Final round.
Fight! Jin Kazama.
Win!
Get ready for the next battle.
小伙子，光靠蛮力是不行的。
Final round. Fight! Wang Jinren.
这么好的
Win.
才能，真是可惜了。
Get ready for the next battle.
一触即発
You're gonna wish you never found me.
うぐたいて少女必須はっフラチ全番
Get ready for the next battle.
King, please stop. It's pointless to fight. You're strong enough. Don't let Marduk's words get to you. You leave me with no choice. Okay? I won't let you go on.
Ready for the next battle.
How long can you stand my attacks?
Final round. Fight. Asuka Kazama
あんた弱い
wins.
わ。
Get ready for the next battle.
So, you showed up. I've changed my ways. I'll take you down fair and square. You win.
Yeah, come on!
I can't thank you enough. With this, I'll be able to bring back the forest.
それはそれとして、実はでごわすな。おいどもは、ジュリアちゃんのことを好きになってしまったでごわす。ジュリアちゃん
Get ready for the next battle.
이봐 진, 이제 결판을 내볼까? 에?
俺にはすべきことがある。今はお前と戦おう。
그렇게 나와야지. 간다.
Final round. Fight.
어떠냐? 내가 더 강해. 내가 너보다 더 강하다고.
もういいだろう。俺は行く。
잠깐만. 이게 다야? 넌 분하지도 않냐고?
今の俺には 感情を持つことなど許されない。俺はこれから呪われた血の宿命を果たす。
이게 뭐야? 이겼는데 전혀 신나지 않잖아!
Get ready for the next battle.
恐怖を教えてやろう。
Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight. Fought it. Win. Final round. Fight. Devil Jin. Win. Get ready for the next battle.
真是没办法。
Round 1. Fight. Jin Kazama. Win. Round 2. Fight. Jin Kazama. Win. Get ready for the next battle.
貴様、誰じゃ？
俺は風間仁。呪われた血を継ぐ者だ。
なるほど。それでわしの血もこうして反応してるというわけか。お前を食らおうとな。
悪しき血は俺の
で立つ。
貴様にそれができるのか？このわしを倒す資格があるのか？
Round 1. Fight.